Young Dunn is back. Not exactly, but he's back. And what I mean by that is he finally made an animation video. That's what he first started off with. And I don't know, my wife told me about it and she was like, it was talking about being circumcised and stuff, and I'm like, that's interesting. And she was thinking that he came back to the faith, but I don't I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. By the way, shout out to one of the guys that commented on my page that I should get YouTube Premium. That will be the next thing because we do get ads, and so we kind of want to steer clear of that. He said he got tired of seeing ads. I get it, bro. I get it. I just got too lazy to get it. But anyway, we're gonna watch the video. One thing I want to point out is I said that if Young Dunn decide to come back to the faith, um, or come back to religion, not faith, but religion, I said I can really see him turning his way over to being a Hebrew Israelite. I don't know. I just really the way that he talked is giving Hebrew Israelite vibes. Uh, so I wouldn't be shocked if he do that. Plus, he made a video about being circumcised. We don't know what that's all about, but we most definitely gonna jump into this video. All right. So we got this video. Ruslan and them reacted to it. I want to hear their thoughts, and we're gonna jump into it.
Faith
For now.
for now. He is now opening up about some of his experiences going through all the different theological camps. And he's being honest. I told him that you should share this stuff. My biggest thing was like go back to making animations.
Dude, the
While he was trying to be
so good.
they're so good. So while he was being attempting to be a Christian YouTuber and a teacher and all that kind of stuff, like go back to the animations, go back to the humor.
Just make them cleaner.
Make him cleaner. And he's back. And this video is called "I Got Circumcised as an Adult." There's a little bit of insight I want to give here, and but I haven't seen
There
it.
is a learning lesson for sure.
I don't have that many regrets in my life, but if I could go back in time and stop myself from doing a few things, for sure, one of them would be cutting the tip of my off. Ah, yes. After being gone for about 3 years, I'm sure this was the kind of story you thought I'd make my big comeback with. But yes, about 2 years ago, 2023, as a fully grown adult man with children, I decided to get circumcised. Now, why would a fully grown adult man with children decide to do something so insane? Was it a medical necessity? Nope. Ma Johnson was working just fine. Was it cosmetic? Was I just finally tired of being Team Turtleneck and wanted to permanently
Team
drop the
Turtleneck.
top of my In fact, I can now speak from experience. It's a downgrade. Personally, I prefer the convertible model. Which makes sense. After all, we are all born with a hoodie for a reason. So why, Don? Why did you do this to yourself? For the same reason dudes have been doing crazy since the beginning of human civilization.
Oh my
In the name of God.
All right, that's
All
good.
right.
So hilarious,
Yeah. Vulgar, obviously.
vulgar, but it gives insight into his paradigm.
It really does.
And I'll share my insights afterwards.
But this is, so the people at this Jewish church, they convinced me into thinking we're still under the old rules. And to be fair, they don't know any better, right? They believe this stuff. But you know, that's like the thing with Christianity. There's a lot of different opinions on what the truth is, but most people have good intentions. Nonetheless, they told me I had to get circumcised, right? Like they were like, okay, look, God might give
Really?
you a pass, but we don't know. I wouldn't risk it, to be honest. And so I was like, dang, well, I don't want to risk it. And I had the money. I was living in Houston at the time, and they had a clinic not too far from where I lived with pretty good
Adult
reviews
circumcision.
for adult circumcision.
The stars are the Israel.
my
The Jewish
God.
stars.
I ain't gonna lie. I know they're laughing, but I kind of feel like he's mocking Christ. So I'm not really finding it funny. Uh, but I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like he's mocking like God and stuff. So I mean, I get it. He's talking about, you know, other religions and stuff. But yeah, we'll keep watching.
decisions. So I was like, well, what am I going to tell God if I died uncircumcised? And he asks me why I didn't do it. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll go do this. So I call him up to make the appointment, and it was so casual. It was too easy, bro. Like they should have a waiting period, you know, so that you could like think about it some more. But they were like, we can get you in on Thursday. I
Oh,
was like,
shoot.
it's Tuesday. That's so
Okay, that's funny.
soon. But hey,
Okay.
That
This
was
is
funny.
hilarious.
This is what
Oh,
Ivy
no.
League universities
Oh, no.
you can
Oh,
get
no.
into with a
We will get that,
3.6
y'all.
GPA.
90.
He said
Hey.
it needs to be a cool down period, like buying a firearm in California.
Yeah.
Sorry about the ad. You two gotten outlandish with the ads, by the way. I usually only get like one ad a video, but now it's like 3.
For real. Don, I love that you're back to making these videos. I'm bummed that you're struggling. You're not a Christian. You're struggling with your faith. I love that you're back to make. Okay. So here's the thing.
We can get you in on
Don,
Thursday. It's Tuesday.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah.
Don, my brother, we connected you with Rabbi Eduardo.
Come on.
He tried to talk you off the ledge.
Come on.
I offered to connect you with Dr. Michael Brown.
Come
To
on.
try and talk you off the ledge.
Come on.
This did not have to happen.
Oh man.
We tried to get you connected with like actual Jewish synagogues. This did not have to happen. Okay. So he got sucked into following the law. And the hilarious part
For a
about
few
this,
months.
Ooh, following the law. Sound like Hebrew Israelites. Pun very much intended. Since y'all always be up on my channel.
for a few months. The hilarious part about this is there's an entire book in the Bible written about this called the Book of Galatians. Grown men coming to faith that were Gentiles, and then the Judaizers coming to them telling them, you got to get circumcised. I tried to go over this with him on the phone.
Come on.
We tried. We tried to get you connected with a rabbi. So, though your motives were sincere,
Yeah.
this did not have to happen. my brother.
Didn't have
This did not have to happen. It led to a hilarious video. But yeah, Acts 15. We tried to give him an explanation for this. I remember vividly sitting on the phone with him talking about Acts 15 and the first ever ecumenical council, the first ever council in Jerusalem,
Yep.
and how they said the Gentile believers did not have to follow the law except to, avoid sexual immorality and I think a couple other things, not eating flesh with animals or something like that. And so, and I even used the example of like, hey, like, do you know the distinguishing markers between Armenians, who are the oldest Christian nation,
Come on.
and everyone like, and the country I grew up in is like Armenians have historically been uncircumcised.
Intact.
Yes, because from in this part of the world, those are distinguishing factors of people who are culturally Christian and brought up in Christian in Christian culture and Christian church, and folks who aren't. So this idea is just, it's not in church history, it's not in the scriptures. So we really tried.
Yeah.
Like we really tried. So
This
the fact,
man.
like he's telling a story, and I think he was sincere in all this. Like
sure.
I think he was sincere. But there were people that tried to walk him off the ledge. And I'm glad that he's telling this story, because the more he's going to tell, I hope he does the cult video, because that's hilarious. But the more he tells these stories, the more I think people will look and kind of be like, oh,
Oh, okay.
interesting information that you're now offering up to us.
if I'm gonna do it, I might as well just do it, right? What's the holdup? So I was like, all right, Thursday works for me. I had to pay a deposit of like $500 so that I wouldn't flake. I imagine a lot of dudes would flake if it wasn't for that. The whole thing cost like $2,500, bro. And you can't use insurance either. It has to be cash. But can you put a price on not burning in hell forever? You got to do what you got to do. So
I don't
made you-
even know.
If that's their position.
I don't even know if that's their position. Like, I don't even know if the law followers
He's
even
probably
hold
being
that
a bit
position.
hyperbolic for
I
the
think he's probably
animation.
being hyperbolic for that measure.
Yeah.
But that's his point. There's so many different opinions. He didn't know what was real. But this is the thing: the Occupy till I come 60.
Now he got
day
his own
promotion
ad.
is back into the entire scriptures custom. So what you're doing, 20 go deeper. You can get them right now, bundled up.
Make sure y'all get
Bless
that book,
God
though.
Summit. Bless God Summit.
Or there's
in
something.
beautiful Southern California, my favorite podcasters.
That sounds interesting though. For real.
Day 3, what you could do is you could actually get the devotional, but 65
Pretty dope.
designed by my guy Scott. What is it called? Ecclesial Sense, like Rabbi Eduardo. I've been to his Christian Jewish church. Are telling you you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. I think that should give you the information that you need.
They're the only ones that do it, and even they are saying you don't have to do it.
Then I tell my wife, and she was not happy. Right? In fact, she cried. She thought it was a terrible idea. She was completely against it.
Oh, it's
and
so
thought it was
sad.
too quick of a decision. It was too extreme. Why can't I wait a few months? Maybe I'll learn something new and realize I don't need to do it. And then I'll.
That's exactly what happened. That is
Yeah, exactly what happened. He should have listened to the wife. Should have listened to the wife.
exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened. So
The wisdom of your spouse.
yeah, listen to your wife, guys.
Of course.
Yep.
This is the same thing Eve did to Adam. And look how that
Oh,
turned out,
no.
right? And if there is anything that
Oh,
the Bible
no.
is very clear about, is that you should never listen to a woman. Especially when they try
The
to tell
Bible
you,
is not clear about that.
Yeah,
Don.
Yeah.
Stop it. Go ahead.
to do the opposite of what God says. Now, it turns out God would change his mind on this with the Jesus patch, but I didn't understand that.
Is it the Jesus patch?
Time.
Hold on, what is this?
That's
Is that a Jesus?
He would change his mind on this with the Jesus patch, but
This is Steam. You can download like a patch for a video game.
Yo, that's hilarious.
I didn't understand that at the time. The Bible is a very thick book and it's very confusing, and even the Bible admits to it being confusing. So that's not me taking a shot or anything.
Well, that's
so with my mind,
that's Peter writing about Paul's teaching sometimes being confusing.
Yeah.
That's not the Bible is confusing. I think anyone that reads the Bible in a translation they can understand will generally walk away with, I don't need to get.
I like that. Because Hebrew Israelites like to bring that up a lot. And they like to use that as their tool to basically debunk things that we got to say about what Paul have said. I just find that very interesting. This stuff is like really packed with some stuff when it come down to Hebrew Israelites.
Circumcised.
Was
I
he
think
reading
that's
King
fair.
James?
He was also in his King James phase at this point. Right?
So it is confusing.
I guess it is. If you're reading
I made
King
up
James.
and not allowing
King James. So I'm not trying to make this a Hebrew Israelite video, but King James version, which can be very confusing, especially when looking at Paul teaching. So y'all trying to flip it on us when it's really y'all. That's Peter talking about.
my evil Jezebel wife to deceive me into thinking that I was making a rash decision, and that if God is, like a loving and patient God, he wouldn't mind me taking more time to work through this stuff before
Wait,
making
wait.
such an expensive and permanent decision. Because
He said evil Jezebel wife. Are they together still?
as every Christian knows, thinking through things is exactly what Satan wants you to do. That's called leaning on your own understanding.
No, Don. No, Don.
That's Reddit. That's the Reddit atheist in him.
That's the
coming out.
Reddit atheist. No, Don. God gave us a mind and reason for a reason, pun intended. The Wesleyan quadrilateral, and I don't know if he ever made it to that part in the, but there's a thing called a Wesleyan quadrilateral that talks about scripture, tradition, reason, experience. These things all are supposed to play together to give us a robust understanding of these things.
Yeah.
So I committed to going through with it anyway. Well, Thursday came around, and reluctantly, she starts to support me. And she's always done that.
If you own NVIDIA,
Oh my gosh.
this could be the most important video you will ever watch. Because while millions of investors continue
I said,
Like,
my
sometimes she doesn't
gosh.
agree with my decision.
My gosh. Because I know y'all be like, oh, you say God. I said, my gosh.
Sometimes she even puts up a fight, but eventually she has always supported me at the end, even when I was wrong or was making a decision that wasn't in our best interest. And for that, I will never deserve this woman. So I went to the place, right? They had me put some numbing cream on my snickerdoodle.
This is so outlandish to me.
Yeah.
Everything about this. And so I didn't have a conversation with him about this. He didn't tell me this while he was going through it, but I definitely tried to connect him with Rabbi Eduardo, who did have a conversation with him about this.
With local anesthesia, which I didn't feel at all. I shot off one last prayer, and then Doc got to work. It didn't take long, about 45 minutes for the whole procedure, and I didn't feel a thing. They wrapped it up in gauze, the doctor wrote me a prescription for pain meds, and then sent me on my way. I was shocked how good I felt. For one, the doctor said the surgery went perfect, and here I am 2 years later and can confidently say that it did in fact go very well based on the results. I also felt like I pleased God. You know, no more snorkel, which at the time I thought was really bothering him. But lastly, I felt no pain. I stopped at the pharmacy and picked up the pain meds.
Yeah.
He prescribed
Wise
me a
man.
bottle of Oxys, which, you know, that's the good, right? Those are the kinds of pills that start rap careers, if you know what I'm saying. They're also the kinds of pills that end
is
rap
funny.
careers. And I think to myself, you know what? I don't need these pills.
Oh, no.
I have Jesus. If God wanted me to get circumcised, he's also going to give me the
Oh,
strength
no.
to get through whatever pain the circumcision
Oh,
is
no.
going to cause. I don't need the devil's medicine. And so I flush him down the toilet. Well, turns out that was a mistake. So the day continued, and with time, it started to ache a little.
Oh,
bit.
no.
But on a scale of 1 to 10, at worst, it was like a 3. Fast forward to bedtime, and my wife and I go to sleep. And I don't know how long I was asleep for, but at some point in the middle of the night, I am awoken with the fire of 1,000 suns on my Johnson. And it wakes up my wife. And she's like, oh my God, what's happening? Are you okay? I'm like, no, my dick's gonna explode. And I honestly thought that might happen. Like, what if the stitches were right? I didn't tell the doctor that I was a grower and not a shower. What if he didn't put enough slack in it? But fortunately, it didn't explode. Right? My wife got me an ice pack, and that did calm things down. Once it was thoroughly chilled and back to its original state, I was able to fall asleep again, only for that to happen all over again, several times every night for like a week straight. It was torture of the sorts I had never experienced before. By the third day, I called the doctor's office and tried to explain to them how I threw away the pain pills because I thought I didn't need them. And so I was wondering if I could get another prescription. But they
Said
didn't believe
nope.
me. They must have thought I sold him or was an addict or whatever. And so they didn't write another prescription. And so I had to thug it out on just Tylenol, my just over-the-counter pain meds, which did nothing. But I got through it. Yeah, it was hard. No pun intended. But I got through it. And after a couple of months, it was fully healed and ready to go. And since then, I've had one more kid, a son. So that's 2 girls, 1 boy, all under 3, just so you're all caught up. No complaints from the wife. And so, you know, all's well that ends well.
So scroll down. This is the first time he's uploaded to this channel in years.
Wow.
Don remembered his password. Insane title for first video back. But it did well, I would say. It did 214,000 views in 4 days. It's great.
Yeah.
Wow, man, that is a crazy story.
That is crazy. That's a crazy story, though. I mean, that was a very interesting insight. But, oh man, you can see how, like, boy, this would happen when you don't learn the scripture. You just run with everything, and then you find yourself, just because you run with everything and you haven't fully, we don't really fully grasp, but when you don't actually, start to, understand and catch on, and you get very, very, very discouraged, and you start to fall away from the faith because you want to lean on your own understanding, and you just kind of jump in it full-fledged without actually really learning, and then you get discouraged. Now I know it can be kind of discouraging when you don't understand everything, but we don't have to know everything. We just need God to reveal things to us and have patience. So, yeah, that was very interesting. But with that being said, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. That was a lot. That was a lot. If y'all like the video, like it, subscribe, share it. But other than that, man, I'm out.